Sitting out here on a beautiful morning listening to the birds. Weather's nice. And I'm feeling pretty good because I had my first authentic smoothie of the year. And what I mean by that is I was able to wake up, go downstairs, and head out to my garden, pick some fresh greens to throw in there with my fruit, and have a pretty awesome smoothie. And it's not as hard as everybody thinks it is. Here's the garden I've had for probably 16 years now. It wasn't as big as it is now. It stopped right about there, directly across where the gate starts, but that added extra 10 feet or so definitely comes in handy. But I wake up, walk down here. Here's my makeshift gate lock, as you can see here. Wire. It definitely keeps the intruders out. And currently for the greens that I have kale on the right, dinosaur kale, and spinach on the left. And surprisingly, I end up starting all my plants from seed, or organic, non-GMO. But usually when I transplant them from their container to the ground, they kind of wilt. But I guess I was really cautious and more gentle this year on the root systems, and they had no problem whatsoever. But there's the baby kales growing, and the spinach, which I alternate. I have collard too, I usually grow, and different types of lettuce, and I mix it in the smoothies. And here is the containers I usually start my greens in. Some red lettuce and the remains of some spinach they got to put in. But here's all the rest of my plants that I have to put in yet. And let's see what I got. Looks like a bunch of different pole beans there, some beets that I usually put in, some more pole beans here. Let's see what else we got. Some honeydew. Never grew that before, but hopefully that'll be pretty good. Oh, a whole bunch of bell peppers. I love bell peppers. We got some basil. I'm gonna make some pesto this year, so I mean, and to be honest with you, growing from seed is not as hard as you think, and you don't even need a big garden. I mean, this is pretty big for me, but you don't need a big garden, to be honest. You can do a lot of stuff within containers, because a lot of people are like, I tell people all the time when I'm growing, and they get impressed, and I'm like, well, that's great and all, but you can do it too. How hard is it to buy one of these? I mean, I didn't do anything special. I have pretty good soil here. I compost and other things, but you can go out and buy potting mix, organic if you want even. And look, you can walk out here every day and pick whatever you need, whatever variety you want. This is a 20-inch by 6. Anybody can do that. And greens are pretty easy to grow in terms of they don't need a lot of care. At least for me, I haven't had a problem. But let's see what else we got this year. These are my tomatoes. I got a couple different kinds this year. Rutgers, Brandywine, cherry, German tomatoes, a purple tomato too, which I'm looking forward to. I haven't done that before. Let's see what we got here. This is probably cauliflower. Yeah, there's some cauli. I love using this now. You can use cauliflower rice, or you can also do mashed potatoes, cauliflower version, which is pretty awesome. So I usually go through, it looks like I got probably 10-12 plants of that. These guys right here, actually I have to put over here because these are my sunflowers. I grow the Russian mammoths. They're like, you know, they end up going 8 to 12 feet tall. I love them. I think they're pretty, and I also eat sunflower seeds. So it's kind of crazy when they get real big. The heads on them, at least the ones that I've grown, are like almost the size of like a large dinner plate, and the head gets so heavy they end up tilting over and wilting. But you can get a ton of sunflower seeds off of one of them, and I mean, look right there. That's a good amount, and there's protein you can get out of sunflower seeds, and add the smoothies and roast them, do whatever you want, you know. Let's see what else we got here. Looks like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, I think. Let's see what else we got. Some bunching onion with another little guy sprouting up. Cucumber, love cucumber. It's kind of, I like juicing it and even adding it to smoothies, or you can dehydrate them or cut them into chips, you know, like slices, and then dehydrate them and put stuff on them and use them for like dip, like hummus or whatnot, and that's really, really awesome. Green squash, gonna grow that this year. They're good for making spaghetti. You know, make your own homemade you know, tomato sauce or whatnot. Some more bell peppers. You can never have enough, in my opinion. Let's see. Eggplants are small, but I love growing eggplant. I know a lot of people are like, it's a nightshade or whatever. I guess things in moderation, but eggplants are awesome. Some more onions. Let's see what we got here. Some butternut squash. And some red cabbage. I love red cabbage. I gotta get that transplanted soon. What do we got over here? Some zucchini. 2 things of zucchini. Some other. I got so many tomatoes, as you can see. I'm gonna. What happens is usually, whatever plants I don't, I'm not able to plant, I'll put like a ad on Craigslist or whatever. You know, who wants free organic plants to try, you know, because I usually go overboard in the space that I have here. I make the most of it. I know a lot of people like having the space is easier to get around your plants and do what you can, but for me, I try to maximize or over maximize the space I have and get a ton of things here. So, but I give away the plants that I don't use, you know, and I grow plants for other people too, so I don't know, it's just fun. And this is, it looks like SBIV. We're gonna call this mystery because I gotta check my notes. So, oh, this is, I know what it is. Looks like watermelon, sweet watermelon. Sweet baby. So, alright, that's what that is. I'm going with that. So, yeah, those are, it's like, yeah, sweet watermelons. Looks like some more yellow squash. I love squash. I love growing like this type of things, like cucumbers and any type of squash and zucchini. Just the only problem is they take up a lot of ground cover. So don't put them next to things that are not gonna get high off the ground or are still competing for sunlight. So usually, you know, like I said, there's rules that people follow. But in the back, I have a whole row of corn that I'm growing this year. I usually put like the viney plants underneath taller crops. You know, like not the cucumbers, like cucumbers, zucchinis, and whatnot. I put them next to like corn or like Brussels sprouts or broccoli, things that are already higher than it, and then I let it grow underneath. So it just makes it easier for it. Let's see what else I got. I started growing some herbs this year too. Chamomile. I think I have some lemon balm, cilantro. I like cilantro as much as anybody else, but not as much as I do now. I did a juice cleanse with a friend and he'd tell you the same thing I would. One of the recipes said it was either a pinch or a handful of cilantro, and we went with the handful. And when we tasted that juice, wow, that was just too strong. And it makes me, yeah. Like I said, I got to come around the cilantro. Hey, look at that plane up there. I don't know what this is. Could be, I don't know. But the leaves look pretty cool. I have to check my book. Calendula or calendula, whatever they say. I had this stuff grown before in a homeopathic remedy to heal cuts and wounds and whatnot, scrapes, and it was awesome. So I figured I'd grow it too. Parsley, definitely. I've been trying to grow my own herbs more this year because I usually focus on other things, like as you can see, but now with the extra space, and again, you don't have to grow these in a garden. You keep them in your house, in a pot or whatever. Hang it from something, But I don't know. I got a dehydrator. I got 2 dehydrators actually, and I'm looking forward to, making my own herbs. Lemon balm hasn't come up yet, or it's dead. Let's see what this is. Good old dill. Look at that. That's looking great. There's no smell to it, but I never grew that before, so I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Chives. Can't go wrong with that either. And that is lavender, which did not come up. Spearmint didn't come up. I planted it. That's another thing. I rotate my garden maybe twice a year, once in the fall, once springtime. But when I don't have the weed barrier down, that's another thing I didn't talk about. I'm using heavy duty weed barrier this year. There's other ways you can do it without. If you ever take a look online, I think one of the DVDs or documentaries is called Back to Eden, which I think is pretty awesome. And it just talks about different ways of growing without using weed barriers and tilling the soil, and basically using wood chips, which is pretty interesting, and it makes it easy to pull out like the weeds. It makes the system of the roots real easy to just pull out very easily, but I haven't done that yet, except for small little portions to see how I like it. I'm sticking with my method until then, because I don't want to, like I said, I have a pretty big area here, and I don't want to get too caught up in that and have issues that I haven't dealt with before. But I'm eventually going to do that down the line. But let's see, thyme. I don't know if that's thyme. I've never grew it before, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know. I'll have to check. And there's some more tomatoes and my beans. And then here is the rest of my bell peppers that I have ready to go. And then I'll show you the corn over here. I mean, everybody that I've talked to, and even on the listings of like the seed packs, it always tells you to grow corn in rows of 4. I guess it's for pollination, to keep it strong. Other things that I do have, I have raspberry plants that I've had for a while now, and nothing like fresh raspberries. I had blueberries and grapes and fig, but the mower took them out, so I gotta start them again. Also, because you can see this plant that's hanging over the tree, the fence right here, is actually mulberry. And I never had a mulberry until a couple years ago, and they're like $13 a box, for dehydrated mulberries. And I looked up, every year this plant would hang over the garden, and it would be a pain in the ass dropping leaves everywhere, and I was like, what the hell, And then lo and behold, I come to find out it's mulberries. So when it gets time, I have a ton, and my neighbor, just lets it go, so there's no spray or anything on it. And what you can do with the mulberries that I've seen is you can take, you know, a stick or a portion of the, you know, branch here, cut it off, take off the green part. You can see the new growth. There's a bug on me. Break that off, pull some leaves off, and even without even using any type of like root promoter, usually there's good I guess, you know, chances that it'll take. And here's my little version of that transplant. We'll see what happens. I shall update you. I say 2 to 3 weeks. Usually it'll create a root system, and then you'll have your own little, you know, your own little plant ready to go. So we'll see what happens. And here's the corn. Yeah, sweet corn, heirloom, non-GMO, organic. So that's the garden so far. I'll update it once I get everything else planted. So, I hope you enjoy.